how many Australian players do you think could make the Lions 23? When you look at the 23 that could come out of that team, it's phenomenal. Obviously, all of those Irish players who have been in a team that's been so dominant for so long outside of World Cups. And then the Scottish players who are coming through. There are some incredible players, some good Englishmen in there. I'm just not sure there's that many Aussies who would make that 23.
Yeah, look, it's a formidable squad. Like, if the Wallabies are to get up, I would say we may not have the Bledisloe. Like, that is a very, very good squad. And if you look at it, look, Jamison Gibson Park obviously is a dead set, but potentially I love Jake Gordon. I think you watch his impact when he comes back for the Waratahs. He's a match winner. He's the sort of guy that can turn a game. And so in terms of the 23, I think he could potentially fit in there. I think Valentini, although it's very hard with that loose forward trio, you've got to acknowledge that him at international level is physical enough and dominant enough to potentially be in the 23. I've really jumped on the Darcy Swain bandwagon. I don't even know if he's going to make the Wallabies, but what he does defensively at line-out time for the Force, and I suppose his skill set for a big man is definitely worth considering. And obviously I can't pump up Suoli'i like I did just previously and leave him out, but I think his skill set, I would definitely have him in the 23 if we were to mix it up. But for the most part, it's, there's some tough, contentious calls. Maybe Mick Wright's there, maybe a Tizzano, Bryn's boy Tizzano. I'm starting to jump on that bandwagon as well there, Brynner. He is really playing well, and I think Elena Kitao as well, potentially. In the midfield, probably it's a push, but I think he's having his best Super Rugby season this year.
So you think it was that 6 or 7 guys that you reckon could be there or thereabouts?
Yeah, but realistically, probably 4 or 5.
Yeah. Brenna, is there anyone that you're seeing who you think could walk into that 23?
There's not many. I think there's maybe 1 or 2, genuinely. That's what I feel. I think, Angus Bell, possibly. I think he's one guy that I think would have the capability to be able to walk into that 23 with the way that he plays. And I think Suoli'i as well. I think that what he can bring, whether that's at fullback, at centre, on the wing, I think in that environment, he'd be one that I think could possibly be in that team. And then you're obviously talking around the names that Jip has brought up, there could be possibilities, but I just think that British and Irish Lions team there's so much depth and quality. So I genuinely only think maybe 2 people that I think I'd genuinely put in that position to be able to be in that 23.
I just don't see how the Aussies win this series, like against a team like that. Home advantage and a good, well-drilled team would be competitive and might get a test match. But looking at it, it's at least 2-1 for
And it's probably the one position which gives you the concern. Like, they have got talent, definitely, and when we've seen that in Super Rugby, but I just don't know who their 10 is. With Noah Lolesio going down, you're more confident in the game he had the week prior, but Ben Donaldson, Liner, there's options, but I don't know if anyone grabs it. Like,
they're not Finn Russell.
Yeah, and when the All Blacks won in 05, like, it was the Carter show. And I don't know where they're going to get that from, unless it's through some freakish play from a Suoli'i. I mean, in a weird way, you would back Quade Cooper to come and just pull a rabbit out of the hat, and for every report I read, Bryn Bernard's in some fairly good form as well.
Having one of them at least in their squad, look, game situationally wise, I've been with Bernard for the year. The guy is a genius in terms of what game management looks like situationally. He's been there, he's played a lot of minutes, played a lot of games. It's a big part in terms of why we've been successful here. So look, it's not a dumb thing to think about. And probably, Joe Smith's pretty smart, and whether he wants to be able to have that experience to come back for these young guys, Donaldson, Liner, obviously Tade, Edmund was there as well if Lolesio is injured. It's not a bad option to bring in that experience to play or help these young guys in what it looks like to, play test match footy.
Good luck, Australia. Good luck. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks.